I've got a good idea. Let's all go and beat up on Pauline Hanson. She's a woman. She hardly can defend herself against big grown men. So let's all go and beat up on her. It's very odd, isn't it, in a country that there were all these male politicians supposed to be protective towards women, and not one, that I can't remember one, ever saying we should be kinder to Pauline Hanson. She is a woman. We're supposed to give an example how we defend women from being attacked by women or men. But the most violated woman in Australia, the most abused and attacked in the most vicious way I've ever witnessed in my life, is Pauline Hanson, by men and women equally. That they then say, the Labour Party in particular says, oh, we're all against domestic violence, but you can beat up and verbally attack and tell lies about a woman. Now, if you verbally attack and tell lies about someone, that's an act of violence, because if you do that personally in a room about someone, that may provoke a violent action. People may walk, sensible people walk away, but they may provoke in a household, if it's in a household where you tell lies about someone and inflame a situation, that can result in a domestic violence situation. So what these people are demonstrating on the Labour Party and the Greens in particular, that these people are the type of people who are actually involved in domestic violence or creating it. They may not be themselves involved in domestic violence, but we don't know that. They have private lives. We do not know that. But when not one of them is defending Pauline Hanson's right to be a free-speaking, liberated woman, not only does it make them a total hypocrite, it means that if you have a disagreement with a woman, if she's not on the politically correct side of the ledger, you can be violent towards her in lying about her and offending her and saying terrible things about her, which is the same. It's have all these people saying terrible things about one woman, Pauline Hanson, is reprehensible by any standards of the imagination, and it belittles a whole country that then says we care so much about people, we're doing something about the climate or whatever. Actually, it proves beyond a shadow of doubt all those people knocking Pauline Hanson don't give a damn about humanity, because she's a human. And all those females and feminists, so-called, who are not defending this lady are hypocrites. As simple as that. It is a very, very brave woman. Extremely brave. The Liberals had to put her in jail over false claims. Falsely put this brave woman, a really dinky-die, brave Australian, braver than all the men in the Liberal Party and Labour Party and the Greens by a long, long shot. She stands there and says her piece. And it doesn't matter whether we agree with her or not in what she says. The point is, we have to defend her right to say it. And that's what people are not. And defend her as a woman in particular. Because if you're not prepared to defend women, then you're on the side of those who bash them and act in domestic violence acts against them. And how many people, women, are murdered each week in Australia is tremendous, a terrible thing to even confront as an individual. I don't want to even think about that. But the type of people who are involved in the murder of women and domestic violence are the same ones as the ones attacking Pauline Hanson in the reprehensible way they are, regardless it may not be those people who are actually involved in bashing their wives or bashing their husband. But if you just go a couple of streets away from there, the same type of people are involved in bashing their wives and having these domestic violence situations. Because those people who inflame a situation by calling people a liar or saying, you know, bullying people or trying to coerce people into not having an opinion, if you get in a domestic situation where it's already inflamed and tense, then that's how domestic violence situations arise. It is not male or female particular thing, it's a matter of culture, lack of cultivation of a sophisticated means of dealing with a difference in opinion. And this is throughout politics now. He can't deal, because he can't deal with the difference of opinion that Pauline Hanson has, and she's exactly right about climate change. In particular, Australia cannot do anything about that. And because all these other people have got on the side of this, what is an abominable lie, and they're telling people, oh, Australia's going to do something about climate, this in particularly, now they've got themselves in a corner. They have to vehemently attack someone who's never gone down that road. And all the feminists and all the on the level for freedom of women, not one is defending, that I know of, defending the freedom of this particular woman who's totally liberated from political correctness, liberated from being out in the confines of the echo chamber of ignorance that is now what is the left live within, including the ABC and all the other people. None of them can say, look, you can't have this being against domestic violence and having all these people denigrate this one lady. Why? Doesn't she talk like Gillian Trigg? Doesn't she talk posh enough? Why is Gillian Trigg treated one way and Pauline Hanson treated another way? This is a very important point. If you're going to treat all people equally, then the left must treat Pauline Hanson the same it treats Gillian Trigg. One's a hero, Gillian Trigg, who's reprehensible and a sexist. She's sexist against males. And that's what it is. Is it because Pauline Hanson's not sexist against males, but at the same time doesn't get pushed around by them? She actually really is a liberated woman. She's got her own party and stands there proudly and strong at that. And all these other women who are on the left are only mostly in politics because of an personal arrangement between them and some of the men in the Labour Party. It's nepotistic, in other words. And the Greens, we don't even talk about those. Those people are basically just like a jumped up Nazi rabble, as far as I'm concerned. Would-be dictators would have people into re-education schools and have people forcefully removed and relocated from their location because of those ideology against coal, which they understand nothing whatsoever about. And they don't understand much about humans either. But Pauline Hanson is a human for a start. And she's a lady second. And that they can treat a human and a human woman like this, I for one find sickening. I for one cannot abide that they can treat a one woman like that. How in secret then now would they really treat all women? That's the question. And all these so-called feminists, well, we're into female liberation. There's a female liberation when she's liberated, and they are not. They're only partners in which is basically sort of a crime through legislative action against the country. So, you know, we can be in the politically correct side of life. Are you really a free person when you're confined to having to totally agree with everyone else in sort of echo chamber of copy-paste thoughts and actions and processes? Not really. So of course they attack Pauline Hanson. She is a free person. She is different, and she is a woman who can't really defend herself against all these big tough men and all that. Because she's an individual like that, they can all now attack her. It shows what a bunch of weak people these people on the left and anyone else who can't defend this woman really, really are. Domestic violence in Australia is a really bad thing, and yet there they are, all ganging up on one woman because it's alright, she's got red hair, doesn't talk so posh, doesn't talk like Gillian Trigg, speaks her own mind in her own way, so you can denigrate her. It's shameful and shameless at the same time.